you know, trying to figure out different ideas and different techniques. We only have a limited amount of time before we get to go on to another location. So I've got Kyle here. If you notice, the sun right now is almost like right here, straight up. So if he leans against the wall, do that. Not bad. I mean, I could probably pull something off, right? But what I want is the light going more like this. Well, so I'd have to wait about 2 hours, and then that sun will be over here. And then I've got a good situation with natural sun creating a shadow with the subject. I don't have that time. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna create my own sunlight scenario across the street underneath the shade of another side of a building. So keep looking as you walk around. Look at, you know, what's a possibility. You don't always have to use strobes. I usually do, but we're gonna go across the street and create a simulated sunlight look. Okay, I just snapped one real quick picture, and I noticed that one of the cool features about this shot is the boardwalk here is moving toward the wall, so that gives me a forced perspective. So I'm gonna lower the camera just a little bit to emphasize that. I got about 35 millimeter, I got my 24-70, but on the 35 millimeter focal length, and which is fairly wide. And so I want this kind of like, you know, this expanded feel. So I'm gonna lower the tripod just a little bit here to increase the boards in the foreground to get me a, you know, little more push of the perspective. So let me spin this like this. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Now, all right, that looks incredible. So I'm gonna flip it over here for a second. He's actually fairly small in the frame, which is what I want, because I do a lot of, like, you know, fairly tight portraits. This is a little bit more backed up. So really, at this point, I'm looking at the shadow. What kind of shadow shape am I gonna look, you know, what's gonna happen? So I can move my light either higher, left or right, to get that shadow longer or a little bit different. Now the hat is creating a really cool look. Show you here.
Oh, whoa.
Is that
That's
incredible? Awesome. Okay, so I also have set up a second light over here. And the reason why I've got that is that could kick in a little bit of a fill to smooth it out, the tones a little bit, so I'm not battling, you know, the contrast as much. We got to use that sparingly because I don't want to flatten it out too much. So we'll do that in a second, but let's just take a look here, and we'll fine tune our composition and everything. Make sure my lines are all perfect. All right, and so now just look a little bit more, just a little bit right there. Ready? Because you're looking into the light source, which is the sun, simulating sun. And I've noticed that the light is lighting the right side of the frame, or the left to him, a little bit more. So I'm going to spin the light just a little bit. That will even out the exposure on the wall. Ready? 1, 2, 3. It's not as much as I'd like, but I can also in Photoshop just darken that down to get it equal. That helps. It's just that that wall's closer to the light, so it's going to have more exposure. All right, so now we're going to turn this light on. And this is going to kick, instead of having a reflector, which I usually bring, in this case, this is a little bit better than a reflector because of the wind situation. So we're going to make this B light. And we're going to make sure we don't get too much power out of it. So let's go to B and really turn down the power. And we'll do that one, just filling in a little bit. Ready? 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to look at before and after just to make sure. It's just showing a little bit of value in the shadow, which is about right. I don't want to go much more than that. So that was at about half power, which means nothing unless you have the exact same strobes. But basically, I'm just filling in the shadow just a little bit, like a big piece of foam core would. But in this case, the foam core would be in the picture. So now I can do this without having a piece of foam core in it. All right, so let's try a couple more like that. Now try one looking straight in the lens. Just get one. Okay. And then do that one down with the hat down like that. Amazing. Okay, so I've got the wide angle shot. So let's flip it. We're going to do a couple little tighter shots. Right about there. Focus. Okay, now look off again like toward the light source. Beautiful. Beautiful. I love it. Okay, now I have a choice. I have not pulled out my pano, Really Right Stuff pano. And what I can do in that scenario is I can zoom in on him, then I can go left and right and get a bigger megapixel file, which when I go and blow this up and put it over someone's fireplace, some guy's got a big cabin up in the mountains and it's a $10 million mansion, this will look perfect over it because they love cowboys, right? So it gives me the option to get a bigger megapixel. So I'm going to show you how I do that. So we're going to take a quick break and I'm going to set that rig up. And then the second thing is we put this way. And then we're going to, well, we can go up and down. We'll go up and down. So we'll do this. And then, let's see, what millimeter do I want? So then I have my 50 millimeter, 2470, 90 is my nodal point. 90. And then I have to have my camera dead center here. And one way to do that is just to test it like this. Okay, we got 90. Okay, so I'm going to fire 3 shots like I did before. Okay, ready? First one, second one, third one. Okay, that's straight on. And then do the one head down. Okay. First one, second one, third one. Okay. Do one with the hand up like you did with the hat. Just try it. Just to see right there. Okay, ready? First one, second one, third one. Okay, got that? That looks incredible. Do the one looking off again. I think looking like toward the light source, I think is really the best shot. First one, second one, third one. Okay. And so the only thing else, oh, the shadow looks incredible. Your face, everything looks great. Hands look great. Guns look great. Got it. So let's do you now. Oh, when you get this, you're gonna love it.
I'm excited.